Hello, my name's Val Martin and I'm the Principal Teacher of Business, ICT and Psychology, and I'm going to talk to you about National 5 Business Management. The course has 3 units in it, like most National 5 courses. The first unit is Understanding Business, then we go into Marketing and Operations, and then Management of People and Finance. In third year, we cover Understanding Business and Management of Marketing mostly. Finish off in Management of Marketing in fourth year, Operations and People and Finance. And the course is more or less finished by January, before the prelim. That's what we're aiming for, so that the pupils get a full prelim come January. Before that though, we've got some assessments to do, and for each of the units there is a unit assessment for Understanding Business, Marketing Operations and People in Finance. Pupils have to pass these assessments in order to pass the final exam, but luckily for them, these assessments are open book, so the onus isn't quite so much on revision for these, because pupils can use their notes when they're sitting these assessments. However, we do try and do an end of unit assessment for each of these, just so that pupils do get a feel for what it's like to have to talk about and write about these topics that they're looking at in an exam situation. That's quite important. And looking forward to the exam, it's a 70-mark paper that they do in June, and also a 30-mark coursework task, which involves the young people looking at a business, something small. Some people, for example, this year have chosen the Tobermory Chocolate Company to look at, do some background research, look at maybe their pricing policy, and maybe decide whether or not they could maybe change their pricing strategy, for example, and build a report around that. The report that they do is for SQA. It's marked by them externally, but we do give them quite a bit of help and support in order to make sure that they get the best mark possible for the coursework task, because that obviously is going to have a big impact on their overall grade. In terms of homework and the general running of the course, is homework issued once a week. We include case studies which are very similar to what the pupils can expect to see in the final exam. We think it's important that right from the word go that pupils get the opportunity to answer exam type questions, and so if we can do that right from the start in third year all the way through fourth year, it means when we come to the final exam that pupils are not faced with anything new. They're very confident and they know exactly what's expected of them when they go into that exam hall for the final exam. We also use homework booklets just for sort of general knowledge, to get the pupils thinking about different aspects of the course, just to consolidate their understanding and make sure that they've got a good grasp of the concepts and theories that are involved in each of the units. So what can you do to help? Well, from December onwards, really, we're talking about revision, because the course is almost finished by the time we get to the prelim in January. And so what the pupils then have to do is they have to go back and revise work that they've done from third year. So Understanding Business they may not have looked at since January of the previous year. So they have to be able to keep a hold of their booklets, which we're quite keen to tell them to do. They have to keep all the booklets because it's a 2-year course. So they have to go back, find their Understanding Business booklet, be able to look over it. They can use the case studies that are in there for revision, and they can also use plenty of the revision materials that we also have issued to pupils as well. We have A3 sheets where we have managed to get the whole of each of the units into one A3 sheet, and the pupils have been filling in the sheets so that they've got almost an aerial view of what each of the units looks like, which can be very useful. It's very popular with the pupils, they really like them, and hopefully they're a very useful study aid for them. They have their pupil notes. They also have access to a success guide, which is a textbook that they can use as well. There's enough for everyone, so they've got access to one of those. And maybe the websites as well. Business Studies Online offers a bit of welcome relief when it comes to revision. There's some games on there, like Fling the Teachers, playing basketball, shooting hoops, scoring goals, beat the goalie, for example. And in order to do that, they have to answer a business studies related question. So that can be quite something that they quite enjoy doing. So if you see them on that website, don't panic. As long as they're not on it all the time, that's probably the best advice. But a wee bit of that offers some light relief. Also encouraging attendance at supported study and Easter school as well. A supported study runs right throughout the year from September onwards. It covers different topics. For example, it may be unit assessments, it may be particular units that we think people may be having a wee bit of struggle with, and in particular looking forward to the prelim exam, doing sort of general revision, exam question technique, those sorts of areas. And also Easter School can be something that can be very useful for some pupils who maybe find it hard to maybe revise at home. It's a good environment where you don't have a full class, there's maybe 10, maybe 12 pupils that you can really sit down and home in on a certain aspect of the course that can really make all the difference to the pupils when it comes to the final exam. So generally speaking, for revision purposes, and what you're able to do is make sure that they're revising using their past papers. They've got pupil notes for each unit of the course, they can use those for the revision. They have also created their own PowerPoints throughout the course that they can also have access to. They can take away in memory sticks or email them to themselves. So if you can just keep them on track, we'll do our best at this side. If you can just keep an eye on what's going on behind that bedroom door, it'd be much appreciated. And I'm sure between the two of us, we can make sure that the young people, and particularly your young person, gets the best result possible from their National 5 Business Management.